Hey everybody, it's Alan. How's it going? And I was inspired by Rob Pelton to do this video. If you haven't checked out Rob's channel, he's absolutely awesome. So go over and check him out after you've watched this video, of course, and checked out some of my videos. Go check out Rob, he's pretty awesome. But he did a loadout video where he showed his 2022 pack loadout, and I realized I haven't done a pack loadout video in a while, so why not show what's in my pack for this year. But before we get into that, will you please make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notifications so you get notified on all the cool stuff that I have, all these cool videos on gear, trips, all that fun stuff. If you like backpacking, hiking, camping, you're going to want to stick with my channel, that's for sure. All right, so let's get into it. What I have in front of me is the gear I have planned to go on. I'm going on a trip to Michigan, the Manistee River Trail, next month, and I'm getting all my gear together, and so I've got everything laid out, and so I can show you guys how I pack my pack. So I have kind of organized here. Now I haven't changed a whole lot of gear really in a while, so if you've been watching me for a while, then a lot of this stuff is going to look familiar to you. But if you're new to the channel, then you're going to want to stick around to see how I pack my gear. One of the big change-up items is a new big 3 item that I have. Actually, 2 big 3 items that I have. I have a pack from Waymark Pack that is the Mile that I'm going to be mainly using as a day pack this year, but I'm also going to be using it as an overnight ultralight pack. Hopefully, that's the plan. And I have a new quilt from a company called Get Out Gear. They sent me this quilt to test out and review. I would say it's comparable to the double black diamond quilt from Costco, maybe a little bit higher quality and probably a little bit more warmth. We'll see just how warm it gets me, but I sleep cold, so I usually take a lot of insulation with me no matter what. Temperatures are supposed to be something, well, as of right now, we're a couple weeks out still, so it looks like we're going to be in the 50s or 60s for highs, and then down the 40s, maybe to the 30s at night. So I'll tweak this maybe a little bit as I get closer to the actual trip date, but for now I'm planning on it being pretty chilly at night, so I have a lot of insulation with me, and since I'm hammock camping is another reason why I have a lot of insulation with me. So I'm going to put it all into this pack. You guys have seen this before. This is my Superior Wilderness Designs Frameless 40 pack. Still my favorite pack. I absolutely love this thing, and it's my go-to for multi-day trips. But like I said, I do have this Waymark Mile here that is going to be a possible 1-2-nighter overnight weekend kind of trip for summer, which I'm going to try to cram the majority of the stuff that I have in this bag into this bag minus a few things. We'll see how that goes. Okay. Usually how I pack this thing is pretty similar every single time. I feel like I pretty much got this system dialed down to a science now. So I know exactly what I want on the outside versus the inside. And what I pretty much do is put whatever I possibly can on the outside of this bag. Anything that I don't really care gets wet can go out on the outside. So things that are really important that just absolutely cannot get wet, like my insulation system, my quilts, my hammock, things like that, will go inside the pack in a Nyloflume liner. So I'll show you that in a second. But let's start with the outside of the pack, how I usually pack it. So you see this, I have this large mesh pocket on the back. Now my Mile has the spandex stretchy fabric. I'm kind of torn on which one I like best. I actually think I like this netting a little bit better. It's got a little bit of stretch to it, but it doesn't stretch out to where it deforms and becomes misshapen, which I kind of like, and it still holds a lot pretty nicely. So I kind of like this mesh. Now, what do I put in the mesh? Well, I have a couple items that I can put on that outside of the pack. This first one here, this is a pouch from Light AF. This is my new med kit. I had a med kit last summer and somehow lost it. It was a smaller, like the wallet size Light AF pouch, and it disappeared. So I lost a lot of things that I had in that med kit. So I had to replenish my med kit, no big deal. mostly bandages and things like that. But I did add a few things as well this time. And since it's bigger, hopefully I won't lose this stuff. I have this Elite Refuge CBD rub, which I'm hoping will, it's a pain relief gel, which I'm hoping will help out with some of those long days on the trail and relieve some of that pain. So thank you to Elite Refuge for sending that to me. In here I also have, I've shown this before, this J Tree Life Healing Salve to rub on my feet to help with calluses, blisters, rubbing, things like that. I'll be trying that out. And then I have all my ibuprofen, all that fun stuff, and bandages, sting relief, leukotape. It's all in here in an extra Ziploc bag just in case. And then I lost my tick key when I lost my med kit, so I had to replace that. And REI doesn't sell the tick key anymore. Now they sell the tick patrol. It's the exact same thing as a tick key, but here it is. So I had to replace that. $5. Nice thing about being an REI member is you get that free shipping. So it's nice when you have to buy some small little item. At least for me, I don't have to drive 30 miles to buy a $5 item now. So that's pretty cool. So that's my med kit. Since this is in a waterproof, water-resistant light AF bag with a waterproof zipper, this can go on the outside. So this med kit goes on the outside because I want it to be easily accessible. It goes right here where I can get to it immediately. Put that in there. Next up, this is my poop kit, also a light AF bag. Again, if you've been watching the channel, you've seen this before. This is not particularly new, but nice Dyneema pouch. In here I have my Deuce of Spades trowel for digging. I have my Benchmade mini Griptilian knife goes in here. And I have some of my hygiene stuff, my toothbrushes in here. And I have a couple of fire starters. And I have this lightweight pack towel thing that expands with water. And then I do have some water treatment tablets, which I'll probably take out. The potable aqua things are what I usually use in the winter. In fact, let's take the potable aquas out right now because I have a water filter for warmer weather use. That is my poop kit. Oh, and I do have wipes in here as well. I don't carry toilet paper, I use wet wipes. Just didn't show them. Okay, poop kit goes in the back of the pack here, easily accessible. So for this loadout, I'm doing hammock camping again. I was doing a lot of tent camping last year, but really missed my hammock. So I'm back to the hammock and I'm super excited about that. So the hammock is coming with me. It's going to go in the inside of the pack, but the suspension and the ridge line are all in this bag right here. And this is my Sappy Sack from Hammock Gear. And in here I have Dutchware straps. And then I have a Dutch continuous ridge line in here. I keep the ridge line here now with the straps because I did a trip last year where I actually forgot my original ridge, or I had the wrong ridge line for my tarp. And I had no way to hang the tarp on the ridge line. I had to do some makeshift prussics, and that was a mess. And it was just, oh, really annoying. So keep these together now. These will not be separated. So straps, ridge line in the Sappy Sack. That will also go on the outside of the pack because I don't care if those get wet. And then my stakes are in this little light AF stake bag here. These are, I got 6 MSR mini groundhog stakes in here. And then I have 2 titanium shepherd hook stakes that are just kind of backups, or I can use them for additional guy outs and things like that. So those are the 2 items in there. Those will also go on the outside. Now something else that I can put on the outside of the pack, because I'm not real terribly worried if this gets wet, because it's going to get wet anyways if there's any precipitation, and that is my tarp. This is the War Bonnet Mountain Fly tarp. I have it in these mesh snake skins from Hammock Gear. This is a great tarp. I still love this tarp. It's fantastic. It's treated me really well. It's just been a great tarp. So it comes with me on every trip that I do hammock camping now. It also goes on the outside of the pack. And that goes on top to kind of ensure that all the other items stay packed down in there. Tarp goes on top. And that's everything in that outside pocket right there. Now, I had this pack custom designed with kind of how I wanted it set up. So you might notice that I have kind of a different layout than the traditional layout on this pack. Instead of two shorter pockets on each side, I have a short pocket on this side and a longer pocket on this side. And then I have another pocket up here. And this has really worked out well because this is how I keep my stuff organized and how I know exactly where everything is. So in this long pocket, I might use this. I originally intended this long pocket for a tent. Never really intended it for a chair. But now that I am doing the hammock camping, and I still want to bring a chair because on this specific trip I'll be socializing with friends and things, I still want to have a chair. So it's a little bit more weight. When I go to the other pack, I won't be bringing the chair, and I'll show you that loadout. But so in here, in this this Dyneema stuff sack is my Helinox Chair Zero. It goes in this long pocket on the side. Now you notice this is not a waterproof sack. It does have an opening in the top, and even though I've never got any water in through the top hole, I make sure that I put it hole down so that any water that comes in won't get the chair wet. Now let's go over to the other side of the pack. This is the traditional water bottle pockets right here. So I will carry two smart water bottles with me. So I have the 700 milliliter, the 1 pint one, and then I have the larger, this is the 1 liter bottle. The 1 liter bottle will go in this side pocket right here. Okay. The smaller bottle will go on this pouch that I have on my front strap here, on my right strap. It goes up here, so I have easy access to water at all times. It goes right in there, just like that. And like I said, I was going to bring a filter on this hike, so I'm not bringing those tablets. My good old trusty Sawyer Squeeze with my Canon Vecto water collection bag. They're in this little net bag here, and I just kind of keep this so I can keep everything together. This is that same kind of mesh that's on the back of the pack here. I don't know where I got this bag from, but it makes a fantastic little water filter bag. So that goes in this pocket up here in the top. With it in that pocket, I always know where my filter is, and I always put it back in the same place. It's always there. If it's not in that pocket, then I know I've lost it or misplaced it or something. But it always stays in this pocket when I'm hiking. So easy access, great way to get to it. I can go here, grab my water bottles, filter water, boom, get back on the trail and go. So it's a great system. It works out really, really well. On the outside here, I had them add this extra pocket when SWD made me this pack. So I have a waterproof zipper right here and this little extra compartment for storing stuff. Mainly, I use this clip that's on the inside here, clip my keys in here, might put my wallet or money or ID or something in here, close this up, and I do not open this up until I'm back to my car. So this stays shut during the entire hike. That way I know my key's safe and my important stuff doesn't get lost. So if it's not in that pocket, I'm in big trouble. All right, so like I said, I like to put the insulation in to the pack and make sure that it's nice and safe and dry. So I keep a nylon flume liner. Even though the pack is water resistant, it is not waterproof. I have tested this pack out in the shower and I've soaked it underwater, and it did wet through pretty quickly. So since it's not taped, I just kind of seam sealed it, a little bit myself. These nylon flume bags are great. They're only a couple dollars, and I have not had one break on me yet. You could also use a trash compactor bag like a lot of people do, but I like the nylon flumes. I think they're pretty cool. So when I'm packing my pack, what I like to do is always put things kind of in order as I need them. So this is kind of the standard practice, really, and it just works out well when I get to camp and I can just kind of pull things out as I need them. So what I start with going into the pack is my insulation, because that's the last thing that I'm going to need when I get to camp. That's going to be the last thing out of the pack. So like I said, for this trip, it's probably going to be pretty chilly still in Michigan in early May. So I'm a cold sleeper, so I am bringing my Hammock Gear Econ 20-degree quilt. This is a great top quilt. This thing is true to its rating. It is warm as can be. This thing has kept me warm down to, like, I don't know, 18, 15 degrees. I've still felt good in it. So it's a fantastic quilt, true to its rating. Love my Hammock Gear. And this one is going in first. So I'm just going to stuff it in straight into the bag, into the nyloflume bag. I used to deal with stuff sacks, but they're not really necessary, especially when you're doing this. You can just cram them in here. And the cool thing about that is with these frameless packs, you can just keep jamming them in and filling up all the extra airspace in the pack. So now I just kind of pack them in loose, and that works pretty well. Next item here is another 20-degree quilt. This is my underquilt from Wilderness Logics. Unfortunately, they're not around anymore. They no longer exist, but this has been a fantastic underquilt. It's treated me really, really well. And again, putting this underneath my hammock just cocoons me in warmth. Absolutely fantastic. So that will go in my bag next. Okay, so that's packed in there. And the next thing I will pack in is my pillow from Nemo. You can see how small that is, super tiny. So that just goes in the pack too. Boom. My next item, of course, is my hammock. So I'm still using my Dream Hammock Raven hammock. Still love this thing. It rocks. It is such great quality. It's been a fantastic hammock. It is great. Love it. So I have it in this Light AF double-ended stuff sack, it's Dyneema, and I just kind of keep the ends out like this, and that's so I can just put my straps up on trees, put it through these buckles, and I'm immediately hung in less than 2 minutes. It's great to go. So hammock's in there. Hammock goes in next. The last items that'll go in the nyloflume bag are my electronics. So that includes my headlamp, my rechargeable headlamp here. And this is a electronics bag from Hilltop Packs. It's a double-sided, so green. You have a green side for good and a red side for depleted. Fantastic. Such a great idea. But I put like my iPhone cables, battery banks, things like that in there. I didn't include them in this loadout because I change them up every trip, but usually at least an iPhone cable goes in there. So these are the last things I'll put in that nyloflume bag. Then I can take the nyloflume bag and close it up and seal it up. And what I'll usually do is take a rubber band and close it up, make sure that it's nice and closed, and that keeps it nice and watertight. And you can see I've still got room in there for some stuff. So the last thing to go in the very top of my pack, because I want to be able to get to it pretty easily, and that's my food bag. This is a new food bag from Hilltop Packs. This is the new Eco Pack material, super light, super thin, amazing stuff. Absolutely great. It feels like paper, but it's super strong. And then I have of course, my barrel line to hang it with, which I usually just kind of stuff in there like that. I always carry one of these kind of bags with me now, these big oversized Ziploc bags. These are perfect for trash. These are great trash bags. I have a ton of them. I'm not sure where I got them all. I think I got them when my wife and I used to subscribe to Something Meals some kind of meals that came in a pack, and everything was packed in separate bags. And a lot of these were like food grade, large Ziploc bags, and I just kept them all, washed them out, and I use them now for these trash bags, and that's great, having that size trash bag with me. That goes in there. My titanium spoon, I don't care what Bryce Newbold says, I like titanium spoons, and that goes with me. Sorry, that's gone. This is my new coffee cup or anything cup from Sea to Summit. Finally got one of these silicone cups that expand. Pretty neat. Folds down to a flat disc, so it weighs almost nothing. Of course, my lighter. So my BRS stove will go. Usually I put my BRS stove in my pot, which is here. This is the Toaks titanium. I think this is a 750 mil pot. A lot of people have these. I usually just boil water and take dehydrated meals, so this pot works out great just for boiling water for whatever thing that I need it for. But I'll put my BRS in there. I usually put my lighter in there as well. I just forgot to do that this time. And then I have a koozie that I made out of Reflectix. A lot of people make these little Reflectix koozies. They really do work, I have to say. I was skeptical about these things, but man, these koozies, they keep your stuff warm. And the cool thing about these koozies now, what I do is when I pour my boiling water for my meal, I'll take the meal pack and stick it in here, and that way I can still hold that burning hot pack, because those meals are really hard to hold. So I put my whole cook kit and everything along with the food into my food bag. That's how I've always done it. That's how I still do it. And let's clip that up. Of course, it's super small because I don't have any food in it right now, but with a few meals in there and some trail coffee and stuff, it fills up pretty well. So let's snap it, roll it, and weigh it. So let's take this luggage scale and see how much this thing weighs. Remember, this is dry weight. This is before food and water and any other consumables, just the base weight. $9.6 pounds. 9.6 pounds for that loadout. Not a bad loadout base weight at all. I'm super happy with that. So with water and food and stuff, that'd probably end up being about a 13, 14, maybe 15 pound pack. That's not bad at all for a few days of hiking. I'm super impressed with that. That's awesome. Something I didn't mention is you do have to keep in mind that as being a YouTuber, I do carry some camera gear as well. So there might be a few extra pounds of camera gear, camera batteries, things like that. I didn't include that in here because most people, normal people, don't do that. So I'm a weirdo YouTuber. All right, so I said I would try to get everything that I could in the same basic kind of loadout, but with this mile pack from Waymart. This is a 28 liter, so it's significantly smaller, but I'm gonna change out a few things, just a few things, to get everything in here. So let's do that. I believe the mile weighs roughly the same as the Superior pack. I think it's roughly about a pound empty. Something I won't take on this ultralight, mega light trip will be the chair. The chair will stay home. Instead, I will take this Z-Lite seat or Z-seat from Thermarest. I kind of use that just to sit on or as a foot pad in my hammock or things like that. It's kind of multi-purpose. It also weighs nothing. There we go. Okay, so I have everything that I can possibly cram on the outside here. Same deal with the pocket on the Mile as on the Superior pack. It has a waterproof zipper up here on top. Again, I'll use that for my keys, wallet, anything like that will go up here. And that'll stay closed. Once it's closed, it'll stay closed. Now, if we're talking about a warmer weather trip, we're talking deep summer here, super ultralight everything, I'm going to be taking this new piece of gear right here. This is from Get Out Gear. This is a quilt that they sent me to test out. It is a down quilt. It's good to about 45 degrees, 50 degrees, they say. I'll be the judge of that because, like I said, I sleep cold. So if this keeps me warm, even down to 50 degrees, I'm going to be very impressed. I've heard good things about this. I'm looking forward to being able to test it out. So that will go in the bottom of my Waymark pack. Same concept, I'm just going to stuff this in. In there, we still got quite a bit of room. Electronics gear in there. Food bag. And there it is. So let's seal it up. And I will use this strap on top here to put the, I'll just put the Z seat up there. Like that. Cinch it down real good. And there it is. Everything's in that Waymark pack. Everything that I would use for the super ultralight deep summer loadout. Awesome. Let's see how much this weighs. That one's 7.4 pounds. 7.4 pounds. Not a bad weight at all. And like I said, this would last me a good 1-2 nights, maybe 3 nights. I could definitely do a weekend with this pack load on. Really impressed with how much stuff this little Mile can hold. It's a pretty awesome pack. So kudos to Waymark for that. All right, everybody, if you're interested in seeing all my gear that I use and the different loadouts that I have, hammock versus tent versus summer versus winter, I'll include a link below in the description that goes to my Packfire loadout, which shows you everything that I have, every piece of gear, and links to them and all that good stuff. All right, everybody, thanks so much for watching. As always, be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff. I'm getting ready to go hit the trail. I'm super excited. It's been way too long. So look for a video from me from the trail really soon. Take care. I'll see you. I'm out.